𝗵𝗵𝘁𝗶𝘂𝘁, Ananya. Good to have you all here. Super. Good to have you all with me today. Thank you for joining. How many of you are attending my webinar for the first time today? So how many times have you attended my webinar? Once, twice, thrice, 0 times. If you are for the first time, write 0. 10 plus, then write 10 plus, 5 plus, whatever it is, right? Tell me. Oh, 20 plus. Wow. What? 70 plus? Are you serious? Okay. So how many of you have graduated without a job? I see some of you are law students like Pranav. How many of you have graduated without a job? Sure, I understand those of you are law students and especially careful. You want to know what would happen if you graduate without a job. How many of you have graduated without a job? Just write here, yes, whatever, so I know. All right, so let's see what we can do today. I'm here to answer all your questions and keep posting your questions. And if I miss anything towards the end, remind me of that. But of course, we'll start with some of the basic stuff that we need to get covered. Graduated without a job, quit for civils, now looking to rejoin profession. Good, 𝗃𝗃𝗃. This will be useful for you as well. Yeah, you can all share your LinkedIn profiles here, connect with each other. Good idea to be in touch with like-minded people. Someone is saying voice is not coming clearly. Can you guys all hear me clearly? If you can hear me clearly, write yes. Then if you can't hear me, it might be your internet problem on your side or your equipment problem. Please check it. So let's get started with today's presentation. So I graduated from law school without a job. What can I do now? This is a question many of you will be facing. If you are looking for jobs in 2021 and you want to graduate in 2021, it may still be the problem. But even otherwise, it's not just about the pandemic. I'm going to explain to you why it's not just about the pandemic. It's a problem which has been long lasting. And a lot of people graduate without a job and then really struggle to figure it out. And I hope today my presentation and what I'm going to tell you is going to make things easier. First, you need to understand why it is happening this way, and then we'll talk about the next step, which is what to do about it. Right? So this is the most asked question from fresh graduates in 2020. How many of you know fresh graduates who have graduated without a job and they have been really running around trying to figure out how to get a job? Right? Do you know somebody like that? Yes, no, maybe. Yeah, it has been a big problem this year. And it would be the same in 2021 based on the signals we are receiving so far, right? We don't really see any significant change in the market. Legal hiring market is quite slow. There are jobs, but people are reluctant to hire freshers. They are ready to pay a premium to hire people with more experience. But hiring freshers is a big question. Why do you think that is? Do you have any idea? Why do you think people are ready to hire people with experience are being preferred? Any idea? Nobody wants to take a risk. Nobody has the money to take a risk. Very good, Aditi. Waste of time and energy on people to train them. Okay. Yep. So Shruti, you're facing this problem, but why? Have you thought about it? Company want productivity quickly, right? And people want to hire proven soldiers who can come and contribute to their practice and help it to grow. They don't have patience to train somebody new. No experience. They don't have time to train. People don't have time and money and resources. They need to be profitable quickly. They need to make sure every hire they make is profitable. That's the problem. The problem is made worse by the fact that most graduates do not have any marketable skills. What are marketable skills? Marketable skills are those that there is a demand in the market for those skills already. For example, do you think that I know the Contract Act is a marketable skill? If I know the Contract Act inside out, I know all the sections, I know all the case laws, is it a marketable skill? It's a good skill to have. Lawyers need to have it. But it's not something for which clients pay. Clients don't say, oh, you know the Contract Act, here, take 10,000 rupees. Okay, correct. But drafting a contract is a marketable skill, and it's across the board like that. Company law, if you know the company law very well, that's not alone enough. Can you do company law compliances? That is a marketable skill. And this is a huge issue with our legal education system, that it does not teach marketable skills. So the people who are struggling to find a job, it's not really their fault, right? They have done what they were supposed to do, right? They were told that you pass these exams, do internships, do extracurricular activities, do moots, do debates and blah blah blah, and do everything, and you'll graduate with a job, right? That is the idea, correct? That's what I mean. When you joined law school, what signal did you get that you do well in law school, you get good marks? I mean, when you were in class 12, in class 10, people told you get good marks in class 10, class 12, your life will be sorted. And then it was in college that you do well in college by the parameters of college, that you pass your exams, you score well in exams, you do blah, 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 you should do moots, you should do this, you should do that. And people are realizing that they have done all of that and still they don't have jobs, right? So was it not supposed to be enough? Like I have done what you have asked me to do, 5 years of law school, 3 years of law school, whatever it is, I've done everything. Now, why is not this enough? Apparently, it's not enough. When you are hitting the job market, you realize that this is not enough, right? And a lot of law students used to graduate without jobs even before the lockdown. If you think this is happening only this year, it didn't happen before. Do you think it didn't happen before? Do you think this is happening for the first time? Good grades, moots, publications, Kanika is saying, right? So people used to graduate without jobs even before the lockdown all the time. But it was kind of covered up by the ecosystem. Everything is fine, everything is normal, this is how it is supposed to be, this is normal. But the pandemic has really exposed the failure of the system. Okay, since the pandemic happened, things are bare bone, right? You can't really. Earlier, what was happening was that some employers were ready to take on the risk of hiring you and training you. They have to hire someone, right? So they were hiring at least some people who at least had some signs that they're intelligent, they're hardworking. At least they were getting hired, and the system was training them. So if you were counting on the system, now you know that it was a bad idea, right? Even if you do everything they asked you to do and you graduate and you don't get a job, nobody is there to like say, oh, it was our fault. It is primarily they'll say you did not study properly, you did not do things properly, right? So many months since graduation, many still don't have jobs. A large portion of the people who graduated in 2020, they don't have jobs, and it is worse in some cases. Many of them have accepted dead-end jobs that hide unemployment by paying a very small stipend. If you're getting paid 5,000, 8,000, you may feel lucky in this market that at least kuch to hai. Maybe next year things will get better, right? Do you know people, I don't know if there is anyone here in that situation, right? That you're already doing a job, but you might as well not do it. I mean, you are not getting, you don't see how you're going to grow, how you're going to get any advantage out of this job. You're not getting enough money. It's okay if you don't get enough money, you're okay with that, but you don't even see how it is going to help you in the future. How many of you are in that situation? If you be honest, many people will say yes. Yeah. And it is all being blamed on the pandemic, that it happened because of lockdown. Otherwise, I would have got a job, blah, 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 right? Economy goes up and comes down all the time. Like sometimes it is a cycle. Economy picks up and then there is a big demand for hiring people and some people get hired. Yeah. and then economy comes down as well. Indian economy was a downward trend even before the pandemic hit. So it's not like you can pretend that the market will also be so good that even if you don't know anything, people will hire you and train you. That is not the case, right? So anyway, what is done is done. You have now graduated without a job, and you are trying to figure out how to get a job. You thought, okay, maybe in 3 months I'll get a job, maybe in 6 months I'll get a job. And it has been people who graduated in June, July. Some people's even graduation was delayed because of exams were not held, right? So some people graduated in October, November, and you thought that, okay, if I graduate, I have my mark sheet, I get registered in the bar council, then I'll get a job. And then still you are struggling. People, sometimes you thought, people told you, oh, at least you get your bar council registration, then you will get a job. And they have got the bar council registration and they still are not finding opportunities, right? You know people in such situations? Yes, no, maybe. Have you experienced that? Yeah. Okay. So what you should have done earlier, okay, you are going to do exactly that. What can you do now? What you should have done earlier while you are in college, by the way, the exact same thing you need to do now. And yes, you have less time to do it, but you have to do it. There is no other way out. Other way is to wait and hope that somebody will give you an opportunity somewhere. I don't believe in that the market doesn't support it, but somebody will be my white knight and rescue me out of a problem. Not going to happen. Even if it happens to too few people. I cannot count on that out. I cannot bet my career on that. So what will I do? So you are going to do what you should have done in the first place, and it will work because so few people do what has to be done. Okay. At LawSikho, we have been shouting from the rooftop for the last 3-4 years also, not like now. We have been talking about it, that learn skills, build up track record, do internships around the year. But people are like, no, I have exams coming up. I need to score marks. Let me do that first, right? And not do internships. And it is a problem with LawSikho's current students also. We will tell them that, here, why don't you do this internship? This law firm is ready to take you as an intern, and if you do well, blah, blah, blah. They'll say, no. We have exams coming up. We don't want to do anything in January. We have exams in January, right? How many of you have not done internships because you had exams coming up? Yes, no, maybe, be honest. Tell me in the chat. You're like, no, exams next month. I will not do internships this month. You have done it, right? And that is coming to bite you now. Okay, honestly. So what you have to do now, you have to do it no matter what. Whatever is done is done. Okay. Number one thing you got to do is narrow down on a practice area. Okay. If you are still living in that la la land that, oh, I don't know if I like litigation or I like corporate or I like IP, I'm still trying to figure out. If you have the luxury, great, good for you, right? If you can wait to get a job for the next 3 months, next 6 months, next 1 year, trying to figure out what you really like, maybe you are lucky. I was not that lucky. There was no pandemic when I was in college, but I was not that lucky. I had to get a job when I graduated, right? So I said that, okay, let me be a corporate lawyer. And I worked for years, 2-3 years, making sure that I have the right CV, I have the right background, I have the right knowledge to crack a corporate law job, and I got a job in a corporate law firm, the kind of job I wanted. So very important thing, you have to narrow down on a practice area, something that you are ready to do. Okay. Ananya is asking that, should I do internship only with corporate law firms or senior established advocates? Anywhere, Ananya, doesn't matter where you want to work. Okay. If you want to work in the future with a law firm, then you should probably try to get a law firm internship. If you're in first year, maybe a law firm is not giving you an internship, then go work with a startup. But the point is that that experience should later on count, right? If you are doing NGO internships, but you want to later on work in a law firm, the NGO internship experience won't count. Maybe you learn something valuable from the NGO internship also, I don't know. But surely nobody is going to count this experience, or you're not learning what has to be done for a law firm. So if you are so clear and it's a competitive job market, opportunities are few, the great idea is to start focusing on your practice area. So if you are saying that I want to be a competition lawyer, and you are going to start on competition law in your 5th year, then you are really, really behind all the people who have started working on it in their 2nd year, 3rd year. As simple as that. If you say I'm going to wait till somebody teaches me in this college, then only I'll work on this, again, you are behind the curve. There are, for competition law, for example, there may be 10, 20, 30 jobs in a year. There, less than that, I am saying too many jobs. Okay, but if you want to do that, right, then you have to prepare yourself much ahead of time. You have to create a track record. So I'm going to tell you about that later, but at least narrow down on a practice area, something that fascinates you, something that you're excited about, something that interests you at some level. Take that and start working on it. Okay, where to get experience without getting any jobs, I'll tell you. Hold on, be there. I am going to answer those questions. Okay, how to get NGO internship, I'll not answer, not in today's internship. If you want to get a job with an NGO, which is possible, you can find NGOs to work with, right? Round the year, you should be working with NGOs. By the time you graduate, you'll end up with a job with an NGO. Wouldn't be a problem. Learn skills that have high demand and low supply. This is very important to understand. There is a law of demand and supply. You cannot miss these guys, right? We live in a capitalist society where everything, more or less, the economics is determined by demand and supply. So what are the areas in which there is high demand but low supply? Can you think of something? Can you tell me 2-3 areas? You guys try to say. What are the areas you think in which there is a high demand today and low supply? Fintech, Aditi is saying. Good. Arbitration. Really, in arbitration, how do you say, Sachin, that in arbitration there is a high demand and low supply? Are you sure? How did you come to that conclusion? Competition law, I don't know. Not sure. Legal tech, sure. I am sure there is high demand and low supply. Okay. But legal tech is not a subject. In legal tech company, they will look for people who know marketing, who know sales. Yeah. IPR, maybe, because in IPR, the demand is going up massively today. Okay. And it will go up. We can foresee in the next 2-year, 3-year, 5-year, IPR demand will surge because of so many informal businesses becoming formal. That it is natural corollary that there will be demand for trademark, there will be demand for other kind of IPR, especially businesses going offline to online results in a surge in demand for IPR. Is there enough supply? If supply has to go up to match that demand. IBC, yes, Samir, makes sense, because again, IBC, there is a lot of insolvencies, a lot of unpaid dues due to the pandemic, and otherwise there are a lot of companies are failing. Startups, surely startups are disrupting. Startups have the time of having a great time right now. They are growing, they are getting funding, they are growing. So startup is, as a sector overall, is booming. Drafting skills, having high demand and low supply, maybe possible that drafting skills also may have a higher demand. We can predict that there will be more demand for contract drafting. So you can say contract drafting skills would have a higher demand than what is the supply in the market today. Okay, there's a question on lecturership. We'll take these things a little later, not relevant right now. Lecturership also, like, colleges are also a little on the back foot, not really hiring right now, right? A lot of people are going for government jobs today because they realize that there's a lot of uncertainty involved in private sector, and they want a government job for that reason, right? M&A, there's an increased demand for M&A, very good. Cyber law, because technology law is exploding. Technology overall as a sector is exploding. More things going on internet, cyber law, surely. Contract negotiation is absolutely, because more and more businesses in India, which never dealt with contracts before, did business informally on 𝗴𝗶𝗁𝗂𝘁𝗵 system, on oral word, oral contracts. Now they are getting into contract because they have burned their hands because they didn't get paid during the pandemic. So they have realized that contracts are important, and that's changing. Very good. Mediation is growing. Entertainment law is growing. Very good. So there are a lot of things. RERA, surely it's a budding sector, budding area of work. And securities law, sure, maybe. I mean, securities law can grow. There is no clear sign right now, but it might grow going forward as more businesses become formal. But it will be a little later. It will respond later. Data privacy, 100%. Data privacy is an upcoming sector with very little supply. The demand, whatever it is, supply is even less. Matrimonial disputes, yeah, probably matrimonial disputes are going up. We have had reports of family disputes and so on. Space law, no. I haven't heard of any higher demand right now. There's a very nascent space industry in India. Outside India also, space industry is kind of coming up. It's too nascent and too few employment opportunities, right? So now people are asking about every kind of law under the world. Healthcare, medical industry, definitely growing opportunities are there. So good. So you can, when you apply your mind, you can understand where there is high demand and low supply. So narrow down on an area like that, and you want to build expertise there. You know this is high demand and low supply, right? And that is what is important. Space law is so little, like, one guy who really did well in space law, he is teaching space law in a foreign university. We interviewed him on LawSikho. You can watch it. But opportunity is really little when it comes to space law, unfortunately. Someday it might grow. It's a growing sector. Tomorrow there might be a lot more space companies. Recently, Indian government has taken some steps to promote space companies in India, space tech companies. So that may happen. But right now, really, I mean, if you're going into space tech companies, then technology law, contract drafting is more relevant than space law, international space law. That is not really relevant, right? What is relevant is contract drafting, because licensing of technology. So you need to learn IPR, contract drafting, and such things, right? They are deep tech companies. They need IPR, contract drafting more than anything else. Compliances, investment law, M&A, right? So space tech even grows. Even if space tech grows, it's not like your knowledge of international space law will help much. Nobody is trying to colonize moon that you need to interpret the international moon treaty or space treaty and so on. Okay. So learn skills that have high demand and low supply, and be very careful about picking up an area which has no demand. Build track record. Second thing, you have picked up an area, you have learned some skills, but along with that, you need to build a track record. I keep telling this to my students all the time. It is not enough if you know the law. We can teach you some skills on law, what work people are doing, what work do lawyers do. When you have a job, what work will you be doing? I can teach you that, but that will not be enough. Even if you have the knowledge, it will not be enough. You need to build a track record so that people can look at your CV, can interview you, and realize that you are not just coming and claiming that you have certain skills. You have a track record in that. Okay, how to build track record, we'll come to that later. You can ask me towards the end, I'll cover that also. But you have to build a track record. How do you, I'll give you some ideas on how you can build track record. For example, let's say you want to, what happens today? Just think of this, right? There is a job in arbitration. Some law firm is hiring arbitration lawyer, right? So everyone will apply saying that, hey, I'm very interested in arbitration. I want to try for this job. I want to appear for an interview. But the people who will be shortlisted are the people who have a track record in arbitration. You realize that, right? Because your friend who has never even heard of arbitration, never had no interest in arbitration, suddenly will apply for this job also. And maybe he has been trying to do things in family law, maybe has been interested in criminal law, but now because he needs a job, he's applying for arbitration also. So how does the employer differentiate between that person and you, who have actually studied arbitration law, learned skills about it? That's your track record, right? So your track record shows that. Now the problem of track record is that you should build track record over the years, ideally 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. But if nothing, you can try to build a track record quickly in the next 3 months also. How do you do it? You write articles, you do internships with arbitration lawyers, you do maybe collaborate with arbitration lawyers to do webinars on it. But basically you have to demonstrate that you have skin in the game, that you're dedicated to arbitration, that you have jumped into arbitration and really inside it. You're not just, it's like somebody is being hired for a job that you have to swim all the time in the tank, and you are saying that, I had one day done something about swimming. No, that's not enough. I have read a book on swimming, I have done a course on swimming. Not enough. Okay, can you swim? Have you been swimming? Where all have you swam? That background, that track record is very important. You need to show that, look, I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things around swimming, around arbitration, around competition law, whatever job you are applying for. That is about building track record. Very important to look for talent arbitrage opportunities. How? I'll tell you why. Because in India, everyone is crazy about some tag. I want to work in AZB, I want to work in Luthra, I want to work at CAM, SAM, Trilegal. That's it, right? And everyone is applying in the same places. Now imagine that there is a upcoming good law firm. Maybe they are looking for good people as well, but nobody is applying. That is true because they are not so famous. They don't have a tag. People are not even applying there. How many of you are guilty of this? That you are only looking at big organization, big tags and applying there and not trying to research that, okay, I am interested in competition law, but out of the top 10 law firms in competition law, which are well known, are there other small upcoming lawyers, other small upcoming boutique law firms which are trying to make a mark there? Okay, they are still rising. They are small, but they are working hard. They have a vision. They are rising. Have you seen that? Do you do that? Do you do that research? Because if you do that, then you will find places where people are not applying. And it will be very easy for you to get a job there if you have skills and track record, because they are not getting good applications. I have clients and students who are in places like Jaipur, Indore, Dehradun. They are running small law firms there. Okay, but they find it hard to find good juniors. Sure, they are not ready to pay as much as big law firms. Sure, they'll pay less. Okay, but they need good talent to grow, and they will give you an opportunity. Those are not dead-end jobs. There, if you apply, because they're growing firms, they're taking opportunity, they will grow fast. And if you apply there, and if you manage to get a job and you prove your mettle, you will get opportunities, you will get salary, everything, right? So is it so that actually you should intern at small boutique law firm startup? Yes, if you have already graduated and if you are looking for a job and big law firms are not giving you internship jobs, anything. I mean, anyway, big law firms, you can't get a job today if you have just graduated. No way they are going to give you the job. Then 100% you should apply to smaller places. Because if you do well in a smaller place, you learn the work, you prove your mettle, you can easily get into a big law firm tomorrow. Big law firms all the time hire laterally from smaller law firms, but only those people who have proven their capability, not the people who are underperforming. The biggest problem of small law firms is that the big law firms are constantly taking away their highest performing people. They are based off the talent. They're always poaching by offering double, triple money. Correct? So you need to understand that is the opportunity. That is one. Okay, now you may say that I want to earn more also. I don't want to do this. Another big opportunity for you is foreign lawyers. You can do paralegal work for foreign lawyers. And I've explained in previous webinars before. I don't know how many of you are there. I've explained how you can earn as much as a big law firm or more by doing paralegal work with foreign lawyers. Why? Because in the US, a lawyer is charging $100 per hour. And if you do, a paralegal is charging $40, $50 per hour. You being an Indian, because now people are open to hiring remotely. This was not there before the pandemic. The pandemic created this opportunity that lawyers in the US, lawyers in UK, lawyers in other places, Japan, I don't know. There are language problems with some countries, but at least in the English-speaking countries, lawyers are willing to hire an Indian assistant, an Indian lawyer who's going to work as a paralegal and help them with their work. Even if you don't know any laws of that country, you can still help them to do simple things like write articles. Upwork, freelance.com, Fiverr, all of that, right? You can help them to write articles. You can help them to manage their social media. You can help them in many different ways and slowly get into that. You have to have a beginner's mindset that I am new, I am young, I am not getting an opportunity. Let me see, can I take a small opportunity? And if you can write articles for foreign law firms, help them in marketing, help them in law firm administration, help them in discovery, document review, and such simple things. And you can learn some of the US laws and you can earn, maybe 50,000, 70,000, 1 lakh per month, which is easy to earn by doing paralegal work for foreign lawyers. If you work as a paralegal for foreign lawyers, you'll at least earn 40, 50,000 per month. and that can grow. That can grow into 2 lakh, 3 lakh also. If you do a good job, you play your card smart, follow LawSikho webinars, will teach you how to do that. But that is an opportunity. Then you can slowly get a qualification in that country, even become a qualified lawyer in places like US or UK or anywhere else for that matter. Now, this is talent arbitrage opportunity. What is arbitrage? Arbitrage is the same commodity is valued in two different ways. So talent in India, you're getting a job for 10,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees, and you're accepting it, or 30,000 rupees, you think you're very lucky. But same work and maybe a little different work, if you're doing for a US lawyer, you can draw 50,000, more than that. That is the opportunity to how can we find paralegal jobs in India and foreign. 𝗴𝗍𝘂𝘁𝗂𝘁, I have done entire webinar on that. So I don't want to get into the whole discussion about how to get a paralegal job on foreign countries, because all you have to do is go to YouTube and find how to find paralegal jobs. I have done full 1 hour, 2 hour webinars on what platforms, how to get it, all of that. So please go and watch that. I can't say then I have to totally get derailed from today's conversation. So there are talent arbitrage opportunities, basically where people are not applying for whatever reason. Okay, you have to figure that out, where there is high demand but low supply of talent, and there you will apply. Which are the organizations hungry for growth? You need to think about this. Even if you're looking within just India, I don't want to make this about applying for paralegal jobs, but just let's look inside India. Which are the organizations which are hungry for growth? Do you know organizations which are hungry for growth at this point, which have grown phenomenally in the last 6 months, last 1 year? Do you know such organizations? Anybody knows? Can you think of some names? Yeah. Nike, Amazon. There are startup companies which have done really well, who are trying to grow. Startups, by definition, they think they can succeed in this market, so they're hungry for growth. LPO sector, sure, Byju's, for the same reasons as I said. Okay, you have to identify organizations which are growing fast. There are law firms also which are growing tremendously well. There are lawyers who have grown their practice double, triple, 4 times, and you can see them. They're active on social media. They are making YouTube videos, teaching people. You can identify, which are the people who are really going out there and trying to grow. For that matter, Mahindra, An Academy, Apollo, Vedanta, all these are large companies, but there are smaller organizations also, okay, which have grown tremendously well. Law firms have grown. There are law firms which have done very well. Okay, so you have to identify. I'm not going to take names, right? I don't want to be partial. I don't want to take specific names, but this is the point. It's good that you're asking the question. Okay, you have to go and look for such organization. Doesn't matter if it is a very small law firm with 50 lakh turnover, 1 crore turnover. There are 2 lawyers, 3 lawyers, 4 lawyers, but they're hungry for growth. Go find them, who they are. Okay, there are such people out there. Okay, how can you add value to them? You need to think that if there is such an organization, how am I going to help them? How can I help them? Is it only by doing legal work that you can help them? Maybe you can help them with business development. Maybe you can help them with managing their blog, creating a YouTube channel, doing webinars. I don't know. There are n number of ways, but you have to really think creatively that how can I add value to such an organization? Because if you add value to organizations, they'll also pay you. Okay, what are their most pressing problems? Whatever these organizations are, small law firms, find small law firms which are growing, which are confident, which have a vision. If you meet their founders, you will see that they have a vision. They know how to grow. They are thinking what are the opportunities in the world, and they're ready to grow. Find those people and see what are their most pressing problems. Why are they not able to grow? Where are they stuck? What are they worried about? Where are they hiring juniors and failing? They are not getting the right talent. How can you contribute to them? How can you prove that you contribute? One is that you can contribute. Let's say you can draft contracts very well, but have you done it for some startups that you can prove? Have you written some articles about contract drafting which they can read and understand that you have developed that ability? That's very important. How can you contribute and how can you prove that you contribute? It's very important to go and prove to them, look, I have already done 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Okay, and those 1, 2, 4 things, even if you do for free, it doesn't matter, because it is just your proof that you can do it. Prove, get testimonials. Take away the risks of hiring you. Some of you said that it is too risky in the beginning, that why people are not hiring freshers. They are not hiring freshers because it is too risky to hire you. Who wants to hire you and then training? What if after hiring you and training you, you don't learn? What if after training you, you learn, but you leave the company and go join a different law firm? They're all worried about this. Can you take away the risks? Can you go and put skin in the game? Are you ready to work for free for 1 month, prove your mettle, and then with a clear understanding that if I prove this for 1 month, then I will get more opportunity, I'll get paid. That is very important. You don't have to go and ask for a commitment that if I do well, give me pay money after 1 month. That will not work. But what if you do that free, say that just give me an opportunity, let me show you what I can do, knowing that you have the skills to prove that you are very useful. Take away the risk of hiring. Make a 3 months plan, guys. Very, very important. Okay. It's not like you listen to this webinar today and tomorrow you'll do something and you'll get a job. I have no such solution. I don't claim to have any such solution, but make a 3 months plan. What is the area? Okay. In that area, what skills do you need to contribute? Learn about it. That what are the skills I need to have to go and make an impact on that. Learn that. Then figure out how to build up track record, write articles, write at least 10, 12 articles, publish, so that you can show that, okay, in this area I have written so many articles, and that will have a big impact. Add people from that narrow area, right? On your LinkedIn, on your Twitter, follow them. Share your articles with them, show them what you can do, right? Go help some startups who have that same requirement for free, right? Go do whatever you can, prove that you have some capability, and then you go and tell people. That is your 3 months plan, right? You are going to do all this in 3 months. If you don't have a job today, work for yourself. Work for yourself for 3 months, create track record, prove that you can actually contribute to an organization, and then go and show them that, look, I am not asking for a job, I'm asking for an opportunity. You don't have to train me. I can already do 1, 2, 3, 4 things, and I am going to contribute here. I know your problems. I'll contribute in solving those problems. Don't expect miracles. Don't stop because you're not getting instant results. Most of you will try it for a day or two, and then you will say that, oh my God, this is not working, nothing is happening, and then you'll give up. Okay, I was just talking to someone today, and he's trying to create a calendar and schedule himself through the day, okay, so that he can manage his time better. And he gave up. He said, I gave up. I said, why did you give up? He said, I tried for 3 days and I just keep messing up, so I gave up. I said, it took me at least 5 years to learn how to schedule myself. I failed again and again and again, but I kept trying. Now I have a schedule. Okay. And still I may sleep sometimes because my mind is not organized. But you'll also face that. If you expect quick results, it's not going to happen. It takes time. 3 months is very less time, but at least 3 months. In 3 months, you can produce, you can at least publish some articles, you can learn enough skills, at least learn 10 skills, 10 marketable skills. I can do this. I can draft this agreement. I can draft this application before the court. I can do this. I can do that. Make 10 things at least. Okay. And then you are going to that. So that's going to take time. That's going to take at least 3 months. Is 3 months enough? No, it's very less. But when you are not having a job, do it for 3 months. Give yourself 3 months to build skills and build track record. Work really hard. You have 24/7. Okay, at least work for 10 hours a day on building track record, on learning skills, and then go and ask for a job. I promise you it will be very different than what you're facing today. And remember this, that you are being forced by the difficulties of this pandemic. Every generation in the past which has faced difficulty like this has been the most remarkable generation. Last time this happened was the Second World War. That generation faced tremendous challenges, unprecedented challenges, like you have not seen also. We have not seen the pains of the Second World War, but that generation was the best generation. They built the world we live in. They created the greatest companies in the world. They created the greatest law firms in the world. And the amazing thing that they did that was unprecedented. And I bet that this generation, which is being forged by the difficulties of the pandemic, will do the same. You will have a big advantage in your career. So keep going, don't stop. Okay. So before we go any further, I want to take some questions. I don't have really much more to say than learn skills, build track record, look for talent arbitrage opportunities. Do not think that any start is too small. When I started IP Leaders, I didn't know how much money. I had no money. I had nothing. I started, but I knew that this is an opportunity and I kept working on it, right? I built a huge company today. I have, people, at least 100 people working in LawSikho today. And that was not possible if I thought, oh my God, what will happen to me? What will happen to me? I had the confidence to go and start something. And I'm asking you the same thing. You're facing a challenge today. Find opportunities. Don't be afraid to start small. If you learn the skills in 2 years, 3 years, your life will change. You could have huge jumps in your career. Okay. All it takes is for you to learn the work. All it takes for you is to create a track record. All it takes is to take away the risk at the time of being hired, showing the employer, showing the recruiter that, look, you have no risk of hiring me. The next guy, if you hire him, I don't know, but I am a proven entity. I have done this and this and this. So if you want me, and they'll want you. And say that I'm ready. I just want an opportunity, right? I'm ready to prove that I can do this. Give me a month, I'll prove to you I can do this. Give me a week, I'll prove to you that I can do this. That is how you should be going to people. Not like, sir, I'm very hardworking. Please give me an opportunity. Sir, I'm hardworking, sure, but that's not the point. Every other person will tell you that I'm hardworking, but I can do X, Y, Z things, and I've proven it in the past by doing this. That is your pitch. Okay. Okay. So please post your questions. I'm going to answer them. How many of you are connected with me on Twitter? Are you connected with me on Twitter? Who is not connected with me on Twitter? Write no in the chat. Please connect with me on Twitter. Right? Twitter.com/Law Ninja. You can see the link here. Okay. Please connect with me on Twitter. In future, you might have a question. You might have some, something you're trying and you're stuck. You can go to Twitter and message me and ask me that question. Tomorrow I have a webinar. Okay. So it is about what are the skills no, this is the wrong, this thing. This is not the one. I'm so sorry. Let me share tomorrow's webinar with you. Okay. Go to lawsikho.com/webinar. If you are not connected with me on Twitter, you must. Okay. Don't forget about that. Okay, so there is a workshop I'm doing on freelance work, how to get freelance work as a law student. So some of you might find it relevant. I'm sharing the link here. Please join immediately. You can register for this webinar. Here you go, the link. Okay. Although this is for law students, even those of you who are lawyers can also learn a lot from this workshop. So my request is that be there. I'll share the Twitter link also. Okay, somebody is requesting for the Twitter link. I'll share that quickly. Here is the Twitter link. All right, so I'm going to answer some questions now. Let me quickly check a couple of things. Okay, so how many of you are part of our WhatsApp group? If you like today's webinar or you learned something, I know I cannot teach everything in a single webinar, but you might want to be on our part of other webinars and updates. And even we share a lot of job and internship opportunities in these groups. So please join this WhatsApp group that I've shared here. You can join this WhatsApp group as well. Okay. If you're already a part of it, then no problem, nothing to worry about. Those of you who are not can please join there. Now let me see what are the questions. What are the questions? Please copy paste for me to answer. How to search for boutique law firms practicing in niche areas, right? So you remember what is the first thing to be done? First thing to be done is to narrow down on your area of interest, right? So let's say your area of interest is banking and finance laws, right? So it's a simple thing. Go and look for banking, finance, law firms. I'll just do it in front of you right now on screen, how to do it, right? Yeah, I'm doing a search here, banking and finance law firms in India. And you can see all the top law firms are getting listed here, but these are not boutique law firms, right? So let's see. You can see so many other ones, right? Roy's and Co, right? These are all listed here, AM Legals. So you can see a lot of names here, Advaya Legal, Advani and Company. So they're all listed here. That is one option. You find a lot of names here. Legal 500. You can go to Legal 500. That's another good website to find banking. I mean, any area niche law firms, right? Oh wow, they're not showing anything here. Um, Here, right? So we have the name of all the banking and finance law firms, Dhirandir, Varucha, ZBA. So all these are listed here. And you can see within that, what are the tier 3 law firms? LMT Legal, Varucha, 𝗴𝗿𝗱𝘂𝘁𝗵. So you can see like this. So you can do your own research, right? And you can read more about them, Sambad, Tatva. So you can find, right? So these are still larger law firms, and you can find even smaller law firms here, right? Tier 4 firms, ARA Law, Dua Associates, Haryani, MDP and Partners, SNG and Partners. So as you can see, and this is not only the only website, there are many other websites which you can find like this. Okay. Legal 500 is one, there will be more here. Right, it's just a matter of Googling here. You guys are very good at online stalking. I know you are the new generation, so I'm not worried about that. You are probably better at it than I am, but read up and you'll find your answers. How engineers are benefiting from law degree. There are certain areas of law where engineers are better off. For example, construction arbitration. For example, IPR and patent. Okay. Haven't seen any internship and job opportunity in WhatsApp group. I'll take care of it. I mean, I'll just check why it is not getting shared. It should be shared. Any advice for droppers? In getting a job is different field, learn some skills, will that be sufficient? Yes, it's a great idea to combine skills. So for example, if you know a bit about law and you become a very good content writer, then you can combine these things and work for a law firm in content marketing, in law firm business development, and that's a great opportunity. Okay. All law firms are setting up their business development teams, content writing teams, and it's very good opportunity. The network is very important, of course. Getting a job in call center, I mean, you can. I think call centers only want very basic. They don't want even much. I don't know about call centers, not knowledgeable. Lecturer in law, surely crack UGC net, and then you can get it. I mean, hard to become a lecturer these days without UGC net. You have to clear UGC net. But it's a good area because today there are 1800 law schools around the country, and all of them need to have enough law teachers. So law teachers has become a prominent area of work for law graduates. So definitely interesting. I have decided on my area of interest in my final year very late. Should have done it earlier. Wrote 2 dissertations, but I have no relevant internship in IPR. Same thing. Now that you have picked up at least your area of interest, learn the skills. So what is the work that IPR lawyers do? Okay, how to do trademark registration, copyright registration, draft licensing agreements. What are the kind of litigation that happens in these areas? Okay, you have to learn more about that. And if you have good knowledge of those things, the work that simple thing, Trisha, go to LawSikho's courses on IPR and then see all the work. There are weekly exercises, there are specific learning objectives. Go through that because we have created our course according to what the market demands. Those are the skills you need to learn. So even if you don't want to do our course, you can do our course. That's most welcome. But if you don't want to do our course for some reason, then you have to remember that those are the skills you need to learn. So try to learn those skills, then build a track record by writing articles, publishing, and so on. So that will enable you to get a job, and then build track record, approach talent arbitrage opportunities, find IPL law firms which are growing, small, unknown, people are not applying there, right? So go speak to them, do some free work for them, do some business development work for them, write some articles with them, figure out how you can contribute in that organization. Okay, a lot of questions are there. I just remembered a very good thing that we have tried with some of our students and it really worked amazingly. What we advise is that work with law firm partners and approach them saying that I want to help you with business development. Do you want to write some articles? I will happy to be your research associate. I don't expect any payment. So for free, become their research associate for 1 or 2 or 3 months. Help them to write articles, publish, organize webinars, I don't know, build YouTube channel, whatever you can. Help them to manage their social media, do whatever is necessary. And if you do this, okay, for a few months, remember that you already have built a connection, you have already proved that you're useful, that you are coachable, and you have a good relationship. When they hire next, they will look at you. Nobody wants to hire unknown people, take a lot of interviews and all of that. They prefer people they have already worked with, people they already know, people who have already proved to be useful. So go and do research assistantship or research associateship with lawyers, okay, who are either partner level or principal associate level. Principal associates are very good because principal associates nobody approaches and they have a lot of say on hiring. So try and help them to write articles, publish, help them to find webinar opportunities where they can showcase their knowledge and such things. Vishalakshi, please answer. What is the question? These days only 5-year law is being talked about. Please give some advice. How can 3-year law student work in corporate area? Same, no difference. I am telling you, you need 3 months. Do what I am advising. It doesn't matter whether you have done 3-year practice, 5-year practice. Some questions have been published. Let me see if I can find something here. Which type of skills I want to learn? Skills which are in high demand and low supply, Himanshu. Go to LawSikho's website, narrow down an area. So you say that I want to learn IPR, I want to learn M&A, investment law, whatever. Narrow down, go read about that practice area on LawSikho's website, where we have written the skills we teach to our students, the exercises, weekly exercises we give to our students, all listed. Go read that. Then you'll know what skills you need to learn. How can I get a LawSikho job? If you're interested, apply to 𝗵𝗵𝘁𝗵𝗂, apply to Komal LawSikho. It's 𝗵𝗵𝘁𝗵𝗂.lawsikho.in. Apply. We'll see. We are hiring sometimes. We have been hiring almost every month. We hire 1 or 2 people. So might be something might work out. I have shared my Twitter, Pooja, already. Go to Twitter, connect with me, drop me a message on Twitter if you want. My DMs are open, so you can message me on Twitter. I'm not sharing my email ID here. Can you tell me about the scope in media laws? In media law, definitely has an opportunity. It's a growing area. It's one of the fastest growing industry. So definitely good idea. I don't know small certifications which one will help. LawSikho's media law course will definitely help you. Okay, LLM from abroad may or may not help because you have to learn the skills. So if you do an LLM from abroad, is it going to teach you the skills you need to do a work in a law firm here? Then yes. If not, most probably not, then it will not help, because LLM is 1 more year of 1 more year of LLB in most cases. You are learning theoretical knowledge. Same problem. More of the same will not help. It will create more problems. It's not like if an LLM, people will want to hire you just because you have an LLM. It's not like that. Minimum requirements for getting a job at LawSikho. I don't know. You want dedicated, highly motivated people who do great work, should show some spark, and has to, best idea is to catch the attention of one of our partners or one of the, team heads, and they like you, they'll take you under your wing and hire you. That is the best way to do it. How to connect for further career counseling? You can go to LawSikho's website and write an email to LawSikho saying that I want a career counseling. Okay, that's one good way. because we get so many people on our website these days. To call everyone has become impossible. We are not able to call everyone. So yeah, but keep attending our webinars. Through this, we are giving so much counseling, so much information, so much training for free. Absolutely. So don't worry about that. Mm. What comes in corporate law? Good question. Corporate law is not Companies Act. Okay, corporate law is corporate transactions, and I have done entire webinar. Again, it's there on YouTube channel of LawSikho. You can see that what work do corporate lawyers do. Go and search this in YouTube channel. Watch the video. What work do corporate lawyers do? That'll help you. Okay. What skills do corporate law firms want? I have explained there, but you can also read the, go read the weekly exercise list of M&A and investment law course. That'll help you. Read about the securities law course. Read what is written there. It'll help you. If we have already worked for a year and later dropped for preparation of civils and judiciary, how can we rejoin? Same strategy. Chandralekha, you have worked for a year, great. That'll help you when you are applying for jobs, but same strategy, not much different. Okay. All right. So are judges public servant? Yes, they are. That's easy to answer. Thank you for the easy question, Shivani. Publication of article in paid journal will add value to resume. That's a tricky thing because you want to be able to share your article for other people to read. So when you're applying for a job, if they are not able to read your article, how will they get impressed? So that is a problem. Okay. JAG is a good option after LLB, but there are so few positions in JAG. How many? 10, 12, how many vacancies are there? Right? That is the whole problem. Very few opportunities. That's the one thing you need to watch out for. Just check how many vacancies were there in JAG. People qualify and then don't get a job because they have qualified, but there is no vacancies. So they don't get a job. That's the problem with JAG. Criteria for getting, I can't answer every question under the sun, but if you want to work with PSUs, we are going to do a special webinar explaining to you how to, how to plan your career if you want a job with PSUs. As a beginner of law student having no skill at all, who will provide internship at this point? Why do you have no skills? Try to learn some skills. And LawSikho is here to help you. Will teach you some skills. But other than that, you can still intern at startups. They are more open to having people without skills, right? And you have to have skills and you have to build track record. There is no shortcut for that. How to develop confidence in giving the interview? I'll tell you a story. Okay. So one of my students was not getting through any interviews, and I asked him to write 2 articles every day. So he was writing 2 articles every day. On the 7th day, he had a interview. And when he appeared in the interview, he called me after then, saying, "Sir, I got the job." I said, "Okay, what happened?" He said, "For the first time, when I sat down to give this interview, I had 13 topics I could talk about. Because in 7 days, he had written 13, and in the second half, he went for interview. So 13 articles he had recently written. It's like I could talk non-stop about general corporate law because I had so many things to talk about, and I got the job. So if you have substance in you, if you know stuff, you know there are things you can talk about at length, and it is relevant to the work, then you will have confidence. You don't have to fake confidence. Is attaching your research paper with CV for internship application makes a good impression? It can, if that research paper is so amazing that people will be like, wow, you are a 3rd-year law student and you wrote this, then that is different. Otherwise, it will not help. Can we still enroll for LawSikho's Masters Access Virtual Career Development Library? We'll have to check. I don't know. Like we had 10 slots and we haven't opened any more new slots. I'm not sure if those slots are filled, but you should reach out to LawSikho and they will check and tell you. Like there are a lot of people. I personally don't remember. Haven't checked. Okay, there are so many questions. Which one do I answer? 2 articles per day. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. There was a time when in LawSikho, every intern had to write 2 articles per day. Now it has been not there anymore, but because most people can't do it. But there are people who have written that and written brilliant articles. Not compromising on quality standard met. You can definitely write 1 article a day at least if you want. Why did you choose NUJS despite being qualified for getting into NLSIU? That time there were different exams for NUJS, NLSIU. I qualified for NUJS, not for NLSIU. I had got it through the NUJS entrance exam. There was a national admission test for NUJS, a separate one for NLS. How will we get notified about LawSikho internships? Uh, if sometimes I post about them on my LinkedIn profile. Sometimes Sambanika Rawat posts on our LinkedIn profile. So just follow our LinkedIn profiles and you'll get to know. But anyway, apply on your own. Don't have to wait. Any source where I can publish my article. If your article is good enough, send to iPleaders blog, which is our publication. So you can send it to iPleaders blog. It has like in a year almost around 1.52 crore people read the blog. So it's a great platform you can share with us. All right, how to write articles. That's subject for another webinar. Can't cover it today. All right, thank you guys. I think I want to take your leave today. Thank you very much for being here and being a part of this webinar. I hope to see you tomorrow again. Join for that workshop. I shared the link of the workshop. Scroll up on the chat if you cannot see it, you haven't joined it yet. How many of you are going to come in the workshop about how to earn 10,000 rupees per month as a law student doing freelance work? How many of you are going to be there? Yes, no, maybe. Yeah, superb. Go to lawsikho.com/webinars and you will find the link over there. Okay, lawsikho.com/webinars and you will find the link there. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you for being here, everyone. Bye bye.